Hey guys, and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the most anticipated figure of the year, the 13th Doctor as played by Jodie Whittaker in the 5.5-inch scale, or as it's referred to in collector's circles, the 5-inch scale. Once again, a huge thank you to Evolution PR and Character Options for sending me this sample to review. So let's kick off with the packaging. The figure comes in a traditional blister card, unlike the window boxes we've had in recent years. It features the new colourful style guide with the new logo and the new TARDIS, along with some Gallifreyan graphics. It's worth noting that we were told that the packaging was designed to fit figures of varying sizes, so hopefully this is an indication that there's going to be more to come in the new year. The back of the box gives us a brief description about the new Doctor and a look at the 10-inch doll, as well as the new sonic screwdriver toy. Out of the packaging, the figure looks great, instantly recognisable as Jodie Whittaker. The head sculpt is similar to the 10-inch doll, but the paint apps on the eyebrows are a tad severe. However, this doesn't take much away from the likeness. In hand, it's very much Jodie. The sculpt on the hair is lovely, the swooping of the fringe to one side is very realistic, as is the cupping around the left ear to reveal the small detail of her earring. It's only a couple of dots, but the silver paint highlights the fact that it's there, and it's some great attention to detail. The hair is painted in a very pale yellow, not quite as dark as Jodie's hair as it appears in the show, and there is a dark brown, almost black wash that highlights the roots. This is the only major downfall with the paint apps on this figure. It can look a bit like a splodge on her head, or like she's got a spider sat there. Perhaps a lighter brown would have looked less prominent, but overall, the head sculpt captures Jodie's likeness successfully. Moving down to her outfit, the sculpt here is fantastic, and the paint apps even more so. I'll admit that I was worried areas like the pattern on the shirt and the stripes of the coat may be a little sloppy, but they are incredibly neat and tidy, looking particularly vibrant on the coat. However, they do stop halfway down, and as far as I'm aware, they run the full length of the coat in the series and on the other toys. The coat sculpt is very animated, in as much as there's a sense of it billowing out to the sides, and the crease at the back accentuates this too. Then we have the hood, which features some realistic creases and a seam through the middle. The coat itself seems to be cast in the dark blue colour of the lining of the coat, with the pale blue-grey painted over the top. They've done a great job matching the coat colour and added the additional piping colour to the sleeves and pockets, all of which are neatly applied. What's worth noting is that the arms are taken from the Martha Jones figure from Series 3. More on that when we get to the articulation, but the hands appear to be all new sculpts, one open and one to hold the sonic screwdriver. The hand for the sonic does seem a little large, or perhaps it's the way the fingers are positioned. Either way, it looks a little bit odd. The shirt and braces are one sculpt, but also a separate PVC piece to the main torso, and the creases around the bottom of the braces look very authentic, with the black and yellow paint apps being very neat with no bleed. The crotch and top of the legs are again taken from Martha Jones and work well here. However, we do get this rather unfortunate seam going through her waist, where Jodie's trousers sit much higher than Martha's. Clearly, it was more cost-effective to reuse the Martha buck than construct something from scratch. And although it's not a deal-breaker by any means, it would have been nice to have the seam of the waist sit where her waist finishes and where the torso begins. The colour of the trousers match the petrol colour of the on-screen outfit, and we have some newly sculpted pieces from the knees down. This includes the shins down to the boots, meaning that there is no articulation between the end of the trousers and the start of her bare leg. The sculpting here looks very good with the upturned trousers and the creases around it. The socks are also present and have been sculpted to look knitted, which is great attention to detail, and the blue is a different shade to the trousers. Finally, the boots are a great sculpt with the laces and the tags at the back, and feature a range of brown tones to give them a well-worn feel. The figure comes with the new sonic screwdriver, which looks much better than the one that came with the doll, which seems crazy seeing as it's a lot smaller. The details of the prop have been well rendered, and areas have been highlighted with the orange paint to accentuate the power crystals. This then fits snugly into her right hand. Articulation-wise, the figure has a ball-jointed neck, which allows for a much neater seam between the head and the neck, along with extra posability. She has articulation at the waist, at the hips, and the knees, very much the standard of other figures in the line. Looking at her arms, they have swivel joints, because they come from the older Martha Jones figure, so there is no way to pull her arms out to the sides and pose her with the sonic. That's a shame because it seems to be her signature pose with the device, but this was something we had to deal with in terms of the 10th and 11th Doctor figures as well. It's not a major drawback, but it's a shame after we've seen it on a lot of recent figures. Then we have swivel joints at the forearm and the elbows and the wrists. So here she is alongside two other Doctors that I have to hand. As you can see, she is far more in scale than the 12th Doctor figures were, so that's great to see. It would have been awful if she ended up taller than the 4th Doctor. Overall, it's a lovely figure. You can pose it in a variety of ways, regardless of the lack of certain articulation, and it's a fantastic looking figure. Like everyone else who has been collecting this range, I'm glad to see it continue and thankful that we now have the latest incarnation of the Doctor to put with her predecessors. I hope this means we'll see some new figures in the new year, at the very least Yaz, Ryan and Graham, but my main wish is that we get a brand new flight control TARDIS to go with our new Doctor. Fingers crossed. If anything, I expect we'll see variants of this figure in the future, like her pink shirt, and perhaps even with her scarf from Resolution, or simple repaints and retools. So thank you for watching this review, guys. I hope it's been useful, and I hope you enjoyed it. Many thanks to Evolution PR and Character for sending her over early, and you can catch this figure on the shelves towards the end of December into the start of January.